Well, I think it would be interesting to discuss if chanting at the beginning of a class is of any benefit to the student or the teacher or both, or why even bother?
It's a good question.
Yes. Well, so and my conclusion decision is that unless somebody knows something about chanting and how to create the sounds and sort of a little bit of why you would be creating those sounds, it's not going to have that sort of calming effect that I think you're looking for at the beginning of a class, right? To help people to center and focus and move away from their day-to-day life. So I choose instead to do either like a restorative pose or just actually conscious breathing at the beginning of the class. That's how I do it. Unless I was doing like a retreat or a long-term thing with a group, and then we would start maybe in a slightly different way.
Mm-hmm. And even ohms, like you're feeling like they need more
work,
instruction. I think that's very true. And so when I started teaching, I didn't chant. And as part of the Iyengar system, at one particular moment in time, there was the very clear message to chant.
Right.
And that to introduce the chant to the students. And I did find it very hard initially. And so now for the past, 10, 12, maybe 15 years, I've been doing some sort of chant at the beginning. And I think it's very useful for a number of reasons. So I think it does it marks the moment, like here I am starting the class, and it's a way to pull everyone together. I personally, struggle to lead the chant. It's been hard for me to vocalize and to lead sounds that are less familiar, and I've had to work on that. But I really appreciate the moment that it gives for me as a teacher and also for the students. In the teacher training this past weekend, we were also talking about it because I was saying that I think it was more difficult for me to start chanting having not chanted initially.
Right.
Than if I had been said, if it had been said chant, and then that's just it, right? To have not chanted and then to introduce it, even just the ohms, was an intimidating process for me. So I was suggesting that students start doing something om at the beginning, and we talked about the om and we talked about why, and I did often, when I was teaching in non-studio settings, I did almost always explain the om in some way, like 4 parts, pause, next part, why we're doing it just to come together, it's a universal sound, let's go. But I think it is challenging, and it's very challenging for new people. So at the studio, we do a chant, and I think for brand new people walking into their first yoga class, it's an intimidating experience.
Yes, I think it can be. For some people, it seems natural and they're okay with it and they can run with it somehow. But yes, for some people, I think it's almost a turn off.
Yeah. Yes, I think that is. I think certainly that's a potential risk